So last month, I earned £500 from 15 minutes of work. It was all above board. Everything was kosher. Client was happy with it. I was obviously very happy. And if I'd have been charging how most editors charge, then I would have earned maybe maximum £50. But I want to tell you a little bit more about this job and why day rates beat hourly rates and the exact path that you can take to help you achieve the same. By the way, my name is Shiny. I am an Emmy-nominated documentary and commercial editor that's spent the last 15 years working with clients like Vice, BBC, CNN, Ogilvy, and it's my goal to help you overcome randomly editing from the gut and consistently craft engaging edits using high-level storytelling and industry-standard workflow that premium clients will pay £300 to £500 per day for. Now, this job was for a commercial, and it was probably about 7 days long for the entire duration of that project. And I was on a rate of £500 per day. And the first 5 days were spent putting together the commercial. And on the Friday, it went out and they said, hey, we will probably need some changes. The changes are going to come in on Monday. We're also going to be recording some voiceover. So we're going to need you available to drop in the voiceover on Monday. It's like, yeah, cool. No problem. So all the groundwork was laid. Everyone was happy so far. Client was happy. And everything was structured really, really well within the project because I knew that this VO asset was going to be coming in and then I could just drop it in and we're good to go. The asset came in on Monday. I was expecting a bit more feedback to come, but actually they just said, hey, here you go. Here's the VO. Can you drop it in? Of course. 15 minutes of work, but I needed to be on standby. They booked me for the entire day, so I would be on standby for them. That means I couldn't take on any other work, and so I had to be booked out for the entire day. And this is a part of my rules for booking me, and it's also a part of the rules that I encourage you and all of the Unsplice students to take up as well. And so if we were to charge that out at an hourly rate, 15 minutes of work at £50 an hour, which would have been my hourly rate, would have been about £12.50. But let's say you go in a minimum 1 hour, which you should do, never break up an hour, always make sure that you were charging in minimum hourly blocks. That would have been £50 for that work. But then I would have missed out on £450 at least, because I wasn't able to take on any other work. So I'd have been at a loss if I'd have charged hourly to do that work. So hourly rates punish expertise. If I'm really fast, then I could get something done in an hour that somebody with half my experience might take 3-4 hours, possibly more. So if I'm charging per hour, that means the better I get, the less I earn. So it really doesn't make sense to be charging hourly, but rather be charging a day rate instead. Creates the wrong incentive. If you're charging per hour, you are incentivized to work slower, which means a less happy client. You might say, oh, I need to string out this work so it takes 2 hours and it's going to take me 15 minutes of work to do it, but I'll just string it out to 2 hours and then send across the link and charge 2 hours. That's kind of a bit sleazy. If you were the client and you heard that, how would that make you feel? Whereas if you're on a day rate, your incentive is to keep the client as happy as possible. And that means delivering fast, perfect results, or as close to perfect as you can get. And so one of the lessons from this is that these type of premium clients that are willing to pay £500 per day, what they're paying for is certainty, not the amount of work that you've actually done. For these kind of premium clients, they value trust more than they do the money. They're paying for certainty. They're buying insurance almost. They want to know that the work is going to get done. And when they send you something, it's going to be done to the best possible way possible. I said possible twice. And so if you think about it, my 15 years of experience building towards that 15 minutes of work is exactly what they're buying. There's a story about Picasso you may be familiar with, and legend has it that a lady approached him asking him to draw something on a napkin for her, and he obliged and he drew it, and in 5 minutes created this beautiful piece of artwork and then gave it to her and said, "That'll be 1,000,000 francs, please." Shocked, she goes, "But it only took you 5 minutes. And he goes, "No, it took me 40 years to be able to draw that in 5 minutes." And this is exactly what premium clients are paying for. They're paying for your years of expertise leading up to that point that would make you trustworthy and give them a certain outcome, certainty. So premium clients understand value pricing. Hourly pricing, it pitches you as a commodity, whereas if you charge per day, then you are charging for the outcome. You're charging for the value, much like Picasso in his story. If they're booking you for the day, regardless of how much work you actually do, it's kind of like when rich people hire chauffeurs. You know, what happens when these rich celebrities will hire a car and a driver to go to some fancy party in the Hollywood Hills? Well, that driver doesn't go home and has dinner with his family. They're on standby. They're around the corner. So that at a moment's notice, when they leave the party, it could be at 2 a.m., 6 a.m., it could be at 12 p.m. the next day. That driver is there, ready to take them. And so that driver is getting paid for their availability, not for the amount of driving that they're doing. And it's the same with you. If you are working with premium clients who are willing to pay £300, £500 per day, not only are the rates better, but they're paying you for your availability, not the actual work that you do. So £500 for 15 minutes of work is completely ethical and advantageous to both you and the client. So that comes with implicit trust. So how do you get premium clients to trust you, especially if you've never worked with them before? Or perhaps you don't even have a professional portfolio. After all, so many of you are dealing with the portfolio paradox. You can't get the work without a portfolio, and you can't get a portfolio without the work, which is one of the most annoying parts of the freelance editor journey. And I suffered the same thing. And so part of my goal is to help editors like you avoid that and overcome that. You don't need an entire portfolio to convince a client that you are trustworthy, that they can trust you, that they can work with you and you've got their back. You only need one video. Even now, after all these years, if a client wants to see my work, I'll send them one video that is the most relevant to the project that they are booking for. Because they don't need to see 30 different films that are irrelevant. They're looking for one. If you send them your entire portfolio and there's 30 films in there, they're only looking for one that is the most like the film that they want to create themselves. So why not save them the work and just send them one video that is so close to the video that they want to create that they just immediately go, yes, this is the person. This is the editor I need. And in that moment, they will trust you that you can deliver. So now, you know, you only need one film and not an entire portfolio. I can help you with that. And I can help you build that one film in only 30 days. By the way, if you'd like help building that one standout portfolio piece in only 30 days, I can help. Reach out, unsplice.com/help, and let's chat. We can see how I can help you. Most editors will charge for time, whereas you should be charging for value, because work for a client who's working for a multi-million pound campaign, whatever you create for them is going to have a lot more value. Don't forget that not only are they trying to create commercials that convert their audience, but whoever you're working with are working on behalf of the client. So you're not going to be working directly with Coca-Cola. You're going to be working with an agency who are working with Coca-Cola. So they want to make sure that they keep their relationship with Coca-Cola sweet. And so they have to make sure that all of the work that is outputted is to their standards, which means they only want to work with the best, which means they're happy to pay premium rates. So when you position yourself as the editor that is going to deliver on an outcome rather than the amount of time that you work doing, then you become a partner. And that's exactly how you should be looking at every single job. If you want to be earning premium rates, you have to become a partner with the client and see everything that you do as your responsibility. You are taking on this responsibility because you want this to be as good as humanly possible. So £500 for 15 minutes of work, hopefully now doesn't seem so crazy. And in fact, it's happened again last week. So this is on 2 separate occasions. And each time the client is happy to pay that. That is a result of experience, of an efficient workflow, of storycraft, and confidence as well, and being a partner with the client rather than just working for them. It's a mindset shift. And those all combined together make you an asset that clients who pay £300 to £500 per day for would love to collaborate with. And if you want some help getting to that level, then please just reach out. unsplice.com/help. Let's have a chat and see where you are and how we can help you get to the level that you want to.